Wow, so this is a crazy twist I did not foresee. The notepad was not blank at all. There was actually evidence. Look at this. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room.
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words.
Damn, that's interesting. Too bad I didn't have anything I could have done that with.
When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Which is what we checked, but they didn't give us an option to notice that, so this is a surprise we couldn't have predicted.
Huh? Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, we didn't. Wow.
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note, Sayaka wrote it?
but why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Oh my god, he only likes like hentai or whatever, right?
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Okay.
Very well then. Pay attention.
Something new. Something new. Here we go. Dorm nameplates. Here we go.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
Right.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
Okay.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
Nope. Here we go. No. The nameplates.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
Haha.
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Haha.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
No, it would have been Sayaka because she wanted someone to come see her, and she said to come to her room, so she switched the nameplates.
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched them. The only other person who knew we had switched rooms.
I got it!
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
Yep.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room, Sayaka. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Yep.
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
Because she was, I'm telling you, she had the knife from the kitchen. She wanted to kill whoever she invited, and she was going to frame Makoto for it. Which doesn't make sense, because then she'd screw everyone over, and they'd all accuse the wrong person in the trial, and they would all go to, they'd all be punished or whatever, so it doesn't really make sense she did that, but I don't know.
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
The initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
Right, we know that.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The gold paint. Here he goes. The reason we know it was the fake sword is because... here you go, the gold paint. Glittery at the injury's location. Yep.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
Gold!
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword, right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? What led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Oh my god, there's even more! Are you getting used to the non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. Just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute a proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots. If you come up with the wrong combination, you take damage to your influence gauge. Press L1 to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release L1 to cycle through each bullet. Or hold down L1 and use the left stick to select a specific bullet. If the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Okay. Okay. So the replica sword teeth, the kitchen knife set, and the replica sword.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword.
Okay.
And that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
That's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So, she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away. But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
No, I don't think so. But the person with the sword really did attack first. There's no explanation for how a certain part of the sword got damaged, the hilt. Right.
When the fighting broke out,
hold on.
The culprit grabbed the sword. And that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
Let's try that.
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched.
Right.
See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
Well, here's the thing. It's a replica sword, so maybe it wasn't very sharp. So that's why she wanted the knife. But it seems like someone attacked attacked with the knife and someone was defending themselves with the sheath.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
Right.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
And it was actually, Sayaka who had the kitchen knife because she took it from the kitchen.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
No, she was attacking the person. They broke her wrist with the sword, forced her into the bathroom, and somehow she got killed. Maybe it was even an accident. Who knows?